Good morning to everybody. Today, once again, MMPH G05 is Organizational Development and Change. I am Academic Counselor H Biswas of IGNU. So today we have to discuss the Block 3. Block 3, Unit number 8 and 9. There's a part 1. Actually, Block 3, there are 5 units. So now we have to bifurcate it in 2 parts. So today, Block 3, first part, where unit number 8 and 9 we have to discuss. That is merger and acquisitions. And unit number 9, turnaround management. And balance units, unit number 10, 11, 12, that we have to cover up in the Block 3, part 2, in the next sessions. So now today, now we have to concentrate on mergers and acquisitions. We have to try to understand what is the mergers and acquisitions, and then after that, turnaround management. So both the units are very important, and most of the questions are coming from unit number 8 and 9 in the exam point of view. Definitely you will get one question from merger and acquisitions and also from the turnaround management. So that way the Block 3 is important. Now first try to understand the definition, the mergers and acquisitions. Any organizations and company, we have to see the economic and the social things, the main things economically and socially. Both the things we have to consider. So as per the definition, that is the economic and social entity in which a number of people perform various tasks to achieve the common goals of the organizations. So people are working together, keeping on view of some of the goals or objectives of the company set by the management. And that all these things are basic. Things are economically, you should see the profitability, productivity, and as well as whatever you are doing, our company is performing yes product, that should be socially beneficial. Means all these things are for the social purposes. So organizations exist for a double purposes. So when they facilitate the individuals to achieve the individual goals, because within organizations, if we consider as individuals, so they should have some consider goals. And the organizational point of view, they have a different goals. Organizations also different goals. Individual goals means their growth, then your career, service career, promotions, their salary hike, knowledge gain, skilled enough. So that is all our individual goals. Organizational goals is see the competitive, it should be marketable, product should be rigidity, productions should be good enough so that they can internationally or domestically and internationally they can supply. There will be less wastage. That all these points are from the organizational development purposes. So contemporary organizations, however, they have a complex and uncertain is there, ambiguous, lot of problems are there. And you have seen during the COVID time, the Corona time, and still after the post-COVID era also we are facing a lot of problems because to organize the things, so motivations, empathy, all these things are necessary for the present scenario. So it is attributes certain factors impacting the functioning of the organizations, both internal and the external. So That factors has to be identified. What are the factors are affecting, and for the search for the remedy also, so that we can overcome the situations as early as possible. So organizational trends. Organizations are impacted on the external environment, which is characterized by the globalizations and the competitive worldwide and in India also. So these all are basically your external effect worldwide. To some extent, the government rule and regulations is also so are things, and specifically with the competition of the worldwide competitions. So now organizations are, that's why the because of this, considering the external factors and internal factors, so organizations has to rethink, force to rethink and revise the things, modify the things. What are the mechanisms of the policies and the rules? How far it can be revised? So all these things for the benefit of the individuals and as well as for the company also. So all these aspects has to change so that the changes can cope up. The external environment situations can cope up. So contemporary the organizations need the flexible systems as a green process, process will also the autonomy flexibility and encourage the creativity and the innovations. Most of the companies are focused on the innovations, and so they have to encourage the employees and the others, supplier and the others vendors also to innovate the things. The product should be compatible and can be marketable also. So, so time to time, keeping on view of all these factors, so company has to organize has to structural changes is required sometimes. So that is maybe the flat structures where the few levels are supervision and empower the employees to take the decisions. If the structure is more, it is horizontally, vertically, there are a lot of levels, the tires are there, so many levels. So it may be affected for the supervision problems maybe because the taking the decisions it may be taking you more time. So reduce the time and the criticality. Supervision process should be reduced and as much as possible to empower the employees so that they can take the decision on. Contemporary many organizations are rework, I mean network organizations resulting in direct communications across the departments and the teams are needed now because the direct communication sometimes it will keep the boost up for their moral as well as the time also. Then eh, what are the forces that is internal or external whatever it is that is affect the changes organization and shape the change so that in a particular one directions it can be done. So that's why the redesign, restructured, all these things are coming in picture and how it can be possible. Redesign, restructuring, and for all these things. So that's why sometimes is needed to mergers and acquisitions. So merging with the other companies or for acquisition of the particular companies are needed to keeping in view of the design and restructuring the companies, which is really required for the present scenario. And the turnaround management are coming also because of that and re-engineering. So um, so some of the items which are actually showing in as a bold voice, as a written in a bold, highlighted because these things are required. That is the redesign, the restructure, merger and acquisitions, turnaround management, and the re-engineering. So all these things are this is basically this is all a process. These all are the process through business process re-engineering can be done. The successful ways of meeting, such as the contingencies in the restructuring, and then For the world appears to be phenomenon, mergers and acquisitions. And you see the lot of companies are merging jointly, they can, it's joint venture. And there are so many processes are there. They are doing their business so that they can survive individually and as a group of companies. So every merger and acquisition goes through a learning process of his own. As a Peter Drucker in 1981, he insisted that provides a set of rules for successful acquisitions, because for successful acquisitions you should have some of the rules. You have to first set up some of the rules and you have to follow the rules. Now, history behind the markets. So, what are the history behind it? That we have to try to understand why these mergers and acquisitions has come up. Because the background, we should know the background of it. So, historically, merger and acquisitions could be traced to the American or in the British business, the commons activity. Um, the four waves occurred between 1897 to 1897 and 1904, 1916, and 1921, 1965. Chronologically, you see, every time some waves has come during this period, which are the year as mentioned here, and still now also. This evolved the major activity and the impact the structure of the American business, and transforming the medium-sized business to use multinational corporations. So earlier it was a small companies, structured American business was their small way. Now they have transformed, and the medium-sized business are now is the multinational corporation. It was needed in that time. They feel they will have to go for some big size, so that it can be flourished, business can be extended. The first wave, 1989 to 1904, sorry, it should be 1889 to 1904, wrongly written. It should not be 1989, it should be 1889 to 1904. Occurred after the depression of 1883. So in 1883, some depression was there. Business get to be in a depression stages. So that time they feel, I mean, all the businessmen feel the mergers affected the major mining and the manufacturing industries. So that mergers are coming up. Second wave in 1916 to 1929. That time the characterized as a margin for monopoly. That time they have merger for the earn the more monies, and so that they can be rich, and as well as a single party can do these things. So monopolisms are coming in the second wave times. So this is the way different waves has come. This is a basic history. And then the third wave also, 1965 to 1969. And at that time it is a booming economy. Means merger activity, which may be partly attributed to the booming activity. Today, what we have seen, most of the companies are merging, are collaborative. It is not happening right now. It is, you see, the long back, it has happened already. Now, when it is needed, the situations and the different wave has come. Means wave basically that time in the mass scales people have done. People means the organizations has done. That's why we are calling it a wave during that period. After that, now it is almost stagnant, and again the situation has come again. So that's why wave has been distributed in this way. Fourth wave, 1981 to 1989. So that period is continued a downward trend of the third waves. So what of the third wave? Now it has started its decline. Third wave. So unique characteristics of the fourth wave is a significant role of hostile markets, and which had become an adaptable, acceptable form of corporate expansion in the third wave. So basically, in a merger or in a hostile manner. Now see the subsequently the deregulations is often cited in one of the reasons for this proportionate number of merger and acquisitions. The airlines industries, as you know, is a classic example where the airfares became a subject to greater competitions, leading to a competitive positions or the air carriers, where the some deteriorated unable to uh, compete effectively. Then, in 1990s, uh, large mega mergers has happened. Then that time, uh, your as the economy recovered from the recessions, so companies began to expand the merge for efficiency. So at the time of recessions, normally the companies are sleeping mode. That time means they don't know how to, uh, I mean, to expand the things. When the situations are in a favorable situations, so all the companies have started merging to create their efficiency. Now the companies that have a separate ownership are now operating, and under the name they are working. And there is coming together usually through the exchange of shares. They becoming one. So we can see the merger. So their identity will be one. Sometimes they may change their name also. When they are merging the companies, the name maybe sometimes they have changed the name, or maybe abbreviated by the both the companies' name. As I can give you some examples, the Asia Brown Bakery. So that is the Asia Limited and the Hindustan Brown Bakery. There are two companies. When they are merged, they kept their name. Both the companies' name are they are given in a short form. So that can be also that thing is a one becoming one now. Now acquisitions typically is a one company that buyers or who purchases the assets or the share of the company sellers. So with the form of payment being a cash or the securities of the buyer or other assets of the value of the seller. So this is the way it is acquisitions. Acquire, basically acquire. Now the term we have to see the takeover. Now takeover basically the represents a transactions which the cash changes hands in your exchange of the shares. So this is the terms takeover is coming. Though every such share transaction is itself a with the consent, and so far the existing controlling interests are the concerned and who's the control over the corporations is being displayed. So takeover attempt may be within their consent or it could be hostile to their interest. Now, new company may be incorporated for the purpose of the existing company survives, and another existing company is merged into it. So many way, either way, vice versa. So normally, bigger and smaller companies merge together with a common purpose. When we have see you see the condition the especially in the merger. So one two big company very rare. Most of the cases one bigger company and another the smaller companies are merged. It is a common and they are a common purposes. So mergers occurs in two ways. Mergers through the absorptions, or it can be through consolidations. So there are two ways it can be merged. This is the process, basically the process. Now merger through absorptions, that is absorptions is a combination of two or more companies into an existing company. So it means that all the companies except one will lose their identity in the merger. Suppose there are two companies, so one company identity definitely they will lose, but they have to merge and their product range and other thing will remain same. Just for the case for HP and Compact demonstrated because both the computer companies. Now they demonstrated how HP and Compact merge with each other. So both now you see the HP, basically the Compact already merged. But so far we have seen the product name is HP only. So this is the case. Then consolidations. Merger through the consolidation. A combination of the two or more companies into a new company is a term as consolidations. So all companies are legally dissolved and a new entity is created in this type of merger. So in a legal process, now it is a create a different type of merger. So that case we have to consider this the consolidation. It is already consolidated. The assets, liabilities, and the shares of the acquired company are transformed to the acquiring company. Here there are two parties. One is the acquired and one is the acquired company. So cash, exchanges of the shares are transferred. For example, the Bell, your Atlantic, and the GT, they have merged, and named Verizon Communications as born. Means the new name, new company has started, but there, Bell Atlantic and the GT are merged, and new identity has started. Similarly, in the pharma sector, if we see in the pharmaceutical sectors, in the pharma sectors, there Sandoz and the Saiba, they have merged and they have a new company named a new company, Novartis, and it was created. So that is the way the mergers are done. This is all of the process. Now, again, the type of mergers, there are various type of companies are there, merging process are there. And this is a horizontal merger. In case of horizontal merger, where the two companies selling similar products and services in the same market, both the companies are same product selling, same sometimes with the same customers, the same. Now they are combined. That case is a horizontal mergers. Horizontal name, horizontal, why we calling is horizontal? Because their level is same, their product range is same, maybe the market is also the same. So that's why you can say it is a horizontals. For example, your SBI, State Bank of India, they merge. They are all subsidiaries. SBI, Mysore, SBI. What are the subsidiaries SBI? They have now, well, maybe in the financial sector, now they have all merged. The type of merger occurs more frequently as a result of large companies. Now you see the SBI is, earlier it was only SBI and there's a lot of subsidiaries were there. Now it has already merged. And it is basically attempting to create a more economies, scaling will more and a larger market, you can capture the larger market shares. So SBI was one of the good example of your horizontal mergers. Now vertical mergers. Vertical mergers where the mergers between the two companies in the same business or industry, but in a different stage of growth. But in the different stage of growth, they are uh, performing. So this type of merger reflects a buyer-seller relationships. Example, there's a mark, a healthcare company is merged with many of the medical equipment companies. This medical is a healthcare company. Now they have merged with the medical equipment companies to leverage his brand. So in that case, it is a vertical mergers. Difference is the stages of growth because the healthcare centers they needed the medical equipment. The business operations are different stages. Another way I can explain, suppose you are building one of the hospitals, healthcare centers or some of the hospitals, medical centers. Then that stage, uh, it may not be required during the execution stages, project management stages, when the hospital is building, medical equipment may not be required immediately. When the hospital is equipped, I mean, when it is ready for things, now the second stage is you have to purchase all the equipment, medical equipment, and you have to install it, you have to commission it, like this. So then another stage is there. So now that time, the healthcare companies or the hospitals they are merged with some of the your medical equipment companies. So that type of margins are we are calling as a vertical margins. Now, uh, conglomerated is a multi-industrial company. Merger happens between the firms, and it is totally unrelated business. It's because both the business are totally different. Now they are attempt to mergers. So, in that case, the companies are not competitors because their product range are different, totally different type of business, but they are margins. So that's case they don't have the buyer or sellers relationship. There is no buyer and seller relationship because their product are totally different purposes, totally unrelated business. So that type of again they are grouping, they are merging the things for the growth, for the company growth, maybe the share transfer business, maybe the cash required, liquidity to be improved. So many factors are there. Mergers, decision taking by the company, the for the when to be mergers. So there is a lot of considerations are there. Example for the Bajaj Group. Godrej Group. You see, nowadays there is the Godrej, we know the refrigerators earlier. Now we see the Godrej are for the real estate also. So it is a totally different thing. IDC Limited, JSW still there are group, JSW group is there. There are so many different business are there. But now there is a merge already. The groups are already in the merge, different uh, business are there. And now they have a merge. So this is the way different. Now here actually I'm trying to discuss about the type of mergers and what are the differences between the things. Now triangular mergers. Triangular mergers is a practice also shows a triangular merger means when the foreign companies buys and the local company. So the foreign company, now they have to establish the business in other company, other nations for for buying the local company. Now they have to buy and exchanging their shares of the subsidiary located in the country in the local company. So that type of mergers are we can say it is a triangular mergers because in there are three things are involved. Company is foreign company, buying companies in the other in the different locations. I mean, in the located in the different country itself, and what are the shares and all these things are exchanging in a different. So there are three things are involved. So that's why it is a triangular merger. We can see it. Now, key reasons. What are the key reasons? Well, uh, basic things are strategically motivated, jobs are gained, and built. Company were the built and not the destroyed. So there are three aspects are there. Strategically, merger basically you can otherwise see the what is the reason behind it. Why you go for mergers and acquisitions? So it is a strategically motivated and create a job so that you can create the jobs, new jobs, the gain, profitability, and finally you have to build your company uh, and to survive in the world market. Financial behind it. Suppose there's some financial situations also there. The more then in that case, if you go for the merger and acquisitions, so the reason is you have to have a sound financial systems, seamless financial system. There should not be any crisis for the money. So secure. You have to secure yourselves. That's why you go for the merger, the other company. Buyers use their stocks as the currency, and the seller gladly accept this. Another forces are created. I mean, this is the reason behind it. Why you go for the mergers? Work together on a post-closing basis to enhance the shareholder values. So most of the company has decided, we have to, both the company have to jointly have to do it so that our group will be more, our strength will be more, we can work more. Whatever the individual we are doing, what are the efforts we are giving, it may not be sufficient to capture the share market, I mean the share positions. So you can join or you can merge with some other company in the same product range and jointly you can work and production can be more and your market share will be more. So this is another in the behind things are there, reasons we can see for merger and acquisition purposes. Now it is driven, the market merger and acquisitions are driven in many cases by the trends in the industry because rapidly changing the technology, then your fears, competitions, changing the customers' preferences, and cost-effective products and the services, shrinking the resources because absolutely know now the resources, whatever the God-gifted resources in the universe, that is now slowly vanishing, even the sinking. So we have to explore the new sources to create the things. Cannot depend on particular one type of sources. As we know, the green revolutions are coming, sustainability, and the green corridors, green products. Everywhere we are searching for the new things because the resources are may not be available a long times. Another aspect is your global village because we have to consider we have a global village and that's why it is a force to many companies to explore merger and acquisitions as a means of for developed for the international presence and to expand the market shares. The market penetration strategy is often more cost effective because as an individual, if you start some business and if you feel you are liking your company is liking to penetrate in the international market. So it may be a very long time, lot of pain you have to, lot of sacrifice, lot of hard work is. So penetration strategy, it is very cost effective also, and uncertainty is also there. So then, and then trying to build your overseas operations from the scratch, from the scratch levels. If you start from the scratch levels, then it is very difficult because lot of times and your money is also very, very effective. So that's why the merger and acquisition is one of the process. That way we can easily, very quickly you can survive. You can reach to your objectives very fast. So that is a correct strategy nowadays. Because now you see that globally it is very easy. Earlier it was not there. Now we are considering a global village. Acquisitions can be safeguarded and the source of suppliers and the raw materials and intermediary products to obtain the economics of the purchases in the form of your discount. Savings in the transportation cost, you can reduce your transportation cost, then overhead cost, and also finally to standardize the materials. Because what are your procurement systems? You can systemize the things, and a lot of means you can save your materials. Inventory also, it's as such. The inventory also you can maintain. Revamping the production facilities, one of the most important purpose of the acquisition is to achieve the economics of the scale of amalgamating the production facilities through more intensive utilizations of the plant and the resources. Now, market expansion and the strategy, um, the important purpose of the behind the market merger and acquisition is to eliminate the competitions and the protect the existing market. This is main things. Another, the financial strength, one of the most important purposes of the merger and acquisition is to improve the liquidity and the cash. General gain, as a general gain, the purpose of the merger and acquisition is to improve its own image and attract the superior managerial talents to manage its affairs. If we see the development plans, in that case, the purpose of the acquisition is to backed by the offer or the company's own development plans. Now, agencies, some of the agencies are helping, is needed to for correct mergers and the takeover purposes. The advisors, because the advisors is advised by the chartered accountants or the financial consultant or merchant bankers, stockbrokers, and the legal consultants are important because they have to take their expertise. Financial institutions like the banks and other institutions, the mergers and the takeovers between the companies where one or both of them are devoted to the financial institutions. Some of the legal provisions are there. So, application for the law with a view to regulate and activity to ensure the safeguard of the general public interest. In business combinations, in any form of takeover or the merger, individual and the community interest of the different parties, namely the shareholders and the creditors, employees, and the consumers are involved from the different angles. Then joint ventures. Now we have to, some of the discussion are in the strategies. These are all are the different alternative strategies of theirs they're talking about. That is a joint ventures. So joint ventures is basically one of the strategic alternative to an acquisition available to today's small and growing companies in a legal structures known as the joint ventures. Maybe that it may be a term for the 5 years or maybe 10 years joint ventures. Is a legal agreement will be there. How long it can be as a joint ventures. After that, when the terms has completed by the tenor, then they can again they can separate and there again they regain their uh, previous identity, previous name, all this. So joint ventures that way they can be as a for a times particular terms they can complete. Franchisings, franchising is over the last 2 decades. The franchising has emerged as a very popular expansion as with the McDonald's and other Burger Kings. Lot of companies are there, pizzas and whatever the things has emerged as a popular expansion strategies. The variety of product and the services companies, especially for the small business, and that cannot afford to financial internal growth. So franchises are also growing things. There's another alternative: technology and merchandise licensing, because you are just only tie up with some of the technology. You have some agreement or some licensing with the technology only. That is also there. Merchandise. And licensing is a contractual method for the developing and the exploring the intellectual property by transferring the rights of use to third parties without the transfer of the ownerships. You are not transferring the ownerships, but you are giving some technology transferring. You are giving the technology, and then you can start some period of agreement. Then after that, you have to take the product, and after that, you have to sell. At the same times, you are transferring the technology also, so that they can also build up, and in the near future, they can also develop. Just like our HSL, our instant aeronautics, the plane, whatever the war equipments are also like that. They are tied with Israel or some other companies, France like this. So first, initially, they have to right is there, then and slowly they can be transferring the technology. Distributors and the dealerships. Many growing product-oriented mergers and acquisition companies choose to bring their product to the marketplace. So the independent third-party distributors and the dealerships. There is also another type of distributorship or dealerships. You can see it. These all are part of your. It is pertaining to your mergers and acquisitions, but different alternatives are there. Now, management of change, and it will now we are coming up the turnaround because it's continuing to be a natural concern in most organizations in India, because how to manage the things. What are the changes? When the change is coming, how to manage this? Change will be there because it is a phenomena. By virtue of the things, the changes will be there. But now, what are the processes there changing? And for the management, you have to manage the changes. So this is the business environment in India is launching the process of local change in 1991 by the liberalization policy of the Indian government. So this has exposed the Indian organizations to global competitions, technological changes, and increase the customer demands. Now, modern organizations are concerned with turnaround strategies because the turnaround is in another way can see the situations can be revert back or the situation can be improved. That the timing, that points, that the pivotal points are very important where we can see it's a turnaround. Overextended sometimes in the market, it is also a turnaround. So turnaround it may be up or down also. So when it affects affords the economic reversals because of the competitive or maybe the environmental pressures, the customers' demand for the product and services, so it is declines. So the firm may choose to withdraw some of these resources from the business ventures or attempting to turn over survival. So when the situations may be particular one organizations, there are maybe 3 or 4 products are there, but particular one product are not maybe not in a good conditions in the market. So that the pressure is there. It may be a product pressure, or I mean the buyers, the customers are not satisfying with this particular this product or these services. So you have to that particular this product or this plant or units are declining. I mean you have to withdraw the things. Maybe situations may come. So that type of situation you can see it's a turnaround survival. You have to stop in the situations that you can see the turnaround strategies is come off in the picture. So that's you have to decide. Management has to decide what to do. You should continue the business with the same conditions, or you have to stop the things, or you can revive the things. Need for turnaround management. Now, it's important. Why it is needed? Because if you continue the things, suppose your stock market are declining, it is gradually your losses. So then definitely it will be, I think, the point has to be discussed. I mean that point needed. Some need is there to how to survive the things. So swift changes in the customers and the stockholders' demands. So it is needed. And no doubt, undoubtedly, competition is there, and you have to performance as is also one of the point. So number of issues of a diverse nature forced India to orient the Indian business to global standards and the benchmarks. So you have to have a global standards, because not only the focus on the domestic purposes, we have to have a focus on the international market also. So maybe that time also it is because some of the more trust, more you have to see the some rigorous process may be required, some changes are required. So that situations also we can say as a turnaround situation. You have to manage everything. The immediate concerns was the industrial sickness, unable to face the steep competitions from the external players, which resulted in the turnaround strategies in the organizations. Uh, Internal growth strategies, we have to see some of the things from the point of strategies for the turnaround. So organizations deploy international growth strategies to start with so as to sustain the organizations. You know, here actually I have to emphasize the word that is a sustain, because sustain is very important. Market development, yet another concern. So internally you try to increase their customer base, because market to capture the market definitely you have to customers. This is the one point. With the customer you have to retain the customers, or old customers, or whatever your thing, and also expand the new customers. Also, you have to attract with the new customers also. So, external growth strategies and organizations, external growth strategies through the horizontal integrations, vertical integrations, outsourcings. There's a lot of diversifications. You know, all are the cost. Then the implementations, how to implement the things. Now, disinvestment strategies. This is another nowadays. Most of this is very common. Disinvestment strategies. These include the turnaround, retrenchment. So you have heard all these things: right sizing, downsizing, liquidations. These all are the nowadays the common factors. Most of the companies are doing these things. That is also a part of your by the turnaround management. In the case and strategy, we can say it's the disinvestment strategies. So there, it is a last stage. Basically, disinvestment strategies are not advisable, but you have to sometimes take decisions to survive the company, because there's no options, no alternatives. When the no alternatives, no options are there, So it is the last option. So then ultimately you have to go for retrenchment, right sizings, downsizings, liquidations. These all are, I think, you have to give a provision for that. Even in any worst case, you have to take these things. So experience evidence that a combination of these strategies generally followed for disinvestment. These are the effective only when an organization implements them together. Now, another in the part of your turnaround management, that is a renewal, because the renewal is one of the very different aspect for any organizations. You can survive because it is also a part of your turnaround, because you have to renew the things, maybe the structural, maybe the staff reshuffling, maybe the transferring, maybe take a loan from the World Bank or something, a new project, total things. You have to renew the things basically. So this process is also a, your turnaround management process. Then it uses analysis. Uh, it uses analysis and the planning to save the inefficient companies, returns them to a stable situations. So sometimes it has also happened. Particular one of the plant or the units are not good, it is inefficient. So you have to plan in such a way, you have to analyze the such a way how to improve this particular that inefficient units. Because of that, it is affect your total profitability, total profit of the companies. So first terms, you have to see the returns in stable situations. How to we can give it a stable situations. If it is not permissible or not possible, then you have to go for merging with the other companies, or you can acquisition of things, or you can sell out the units. So a lot of things are based on the analysis. You can take decisions. So this process is also a part of your turnaround management. Right? This analysis part, planning the thing, how to save the inefficient companies, that things are also a part of your turn management parts. It also identifies the reasons for the poor performance and leads them to a profitable situations. As we know, that is SWOT analysis, SWOT, that is strength, weakness, opportunity, and threats. That analysis are very perfectly fit for this your turnaround management purposes, where you can analyze it and see the where the loopholes, the shortfalls, or pitfalls, sickness, everything can be analyzed, identify the things, and go for the decisions. Now your terminal declines. There is a continued failure. Continuous terminal declines means there is a continued failure. Last consecutively, you see there are 3 4 years this company is not surviving more. It is declining. The market is also declining. Everything. So that came the management or the governing body, the employees believe the repositioning and the restart a new strategy could possible convert that failure, because it continuously is the failure. So now the time has come to revive the things. So that's why the company has to take it up correct decision. You have to sell it out, or you can change the CEO, or maybe any reasons they have to identify and change the things. It has also happened because when the new CEO has appointed immediately after that, that it can be revived, the profits start. So leadership is also involved in this process. Successful strategy organizations plan to for success and implement it in the same spirit. When the objectives are met, it is termed as successful. Because what about all your objectives? You have set it. Maybe there are 10 objectives. When all objectives are met, you have seen a yes, then we can say we can successful. Otherwise, before that, you cannot say that we are successful. Weak company is acquired is rapidly subjected to turnaround management, because those are weak companies unproductive companies or maybe the not profitable. So in that case, they are subject to turnaround management because you have to think about it, you have to do it something as early as possible. So turnaround management, other way you can say it is the realizations, synergizes. You have to synergize all the resources, all the powers, all the energies, and to increase the profits and the shareholder value, which goes in with the major acquisitions. So turnaround is also confused with some of the, you say that downsizing and restructuring. No, altogether we can say that downsizing might be part of a turnaround plans. It is only a part of a turnaround management. Maybe the company are downsizing, maybe something good objectives purposes. So it doesn't by itself they constitute a turnaround. So turnaround management includes an element of the crisis management also. You can say the crisis management also part of it. Is one of the element. Now, we have already triggered some of the points that is the acquisitions, mergers, privatizations. These all are activities, turnaround activities. If the questions come, what are the activities of the turnaround? Then you can turnaround management. Then you have to say this is the following are the part of the turnaround activities: the acquisitions, mergers, privatizations. These all are your part of your the activities of the turnaround. So when a smaller company has been acquired, that is things when the two companies are same in the industry and margin, or state whole companies just being privatized, so the domestic and the international perspectives of this. So turnaround has been popularly referred to as a recovery of the decline performance. So we can say the turnaround is basically to recover the decline performances are the recovery to profitability from a loss situations. So I'm highlighted in a very highlighted the three things. If you consider, if you keep in mind that the turnaround basically we have to recover the decline performance. That is one in one sentence. If you say what you say, why the turnaround? And other way we can we can define it the turnaround as a recovery to profitability for a loss situations. How to profit earning process. So I have to keep in mind how to gain the companies, and you can survive from the loss situations. So that is the basically idea you can define as a turnaround. Now, some of the elements, influences. What are the elements and influences in the turnaround management that you have to look at? So, for turnaround management, some of the elements are there which are influenced. So, whether the organization is a manufacturing company or not, is a service company, so definitely it will be a different procedures. Industries represents the product. What are the product structures? That also reputation and branding of the company, that is one of the elements for turnaround management purposes. Size of the market share, competitors, profile, and the positions. These all are the elements of the turnaround. Now, turning around, the process of turning around as organizations, what are the steps? First thing is acceptance. You have to accept the situation, the external team, internally the things, teams that should be accept the things. Yes, turnaround management is required. So first steps is accept. Second thing is rethink or revisit the things, then confirm the decisions. Yes, it is confirmed. So we have to that decision has to be or emerges required. Third is objectives. You have to arrive some of the or numerical targets. Some of the you have to based on the things you have to formulate some of the objectives. Then fourth stage is relate to the financials, because whatever the steps that is the grounding that it should be relate to the financial things. Fifth is assuming the significance. What are the significance of these things? And then sixth is the subject tighter set of control because you have to tightening the your systems to establish the things. Controls is very much required so that any strategy deviations are there, immediately you can do it because you see some of the financial impacts will be coming during the things process the implement stages. Obviously, some deviations will come, but you have to tight the things. You have to modify the things so that you can. What are the impacts of these your strategy deviations that can be removed? Acceptance of the team and the formal approval of the turnaround plans. That is also things, final stages. And finally, you have to go for things, improvements. Kinds of turnaround situations, that is your ownership structures of the company, and then urgency of the crisis, then radically the cost of the uses, and management team presently the place changes is all are your kind of turnaround situations. Long-term CEO or not, whether he is assisted by the others or not, then the degree of the freedoms, the time availability, this all are things are. Now a lot of things are there. Now some of the questions I've discussed the reasons and the purpose of the mergers. Then you explain the role of the different agencies. What are the other strategies? Short note can be joint ventures as we discussed, the dealers and distributors, forms of the organizational changes, the special features of the 19th things, revolution part, then turnaround management, turnaround needs for the turnaround strategies, examples, categories of the turnaround, steps involved, this type of question. Take on the example of the organizations. So all these things are your part of your questions like this. So okay, I think now thank you very much. So I think I have covered this units, and maybe next session we have to go for this. Thank you. नहीं नहीं, ये just